and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian, and today I got a game called Dead Man's Draw. Dead Man's Draw is a 2 to 4 player push your luck card game published by Mayday Games, in which players take turns flipping over cards, performing actions to build up their loot. But beware, the card is flipped, revealing the same suit as one already in play. You bust and lose all the cards. So, let's check it out, and I'll show you how to amass the most treasure and be the last pirate standing in Dead Man's Draw. To set up, you take the 4 of the mermaid and 2 of everything else. Shuffle these. This becomes your discard. The rest of the cards, which should already be shuffled, are your draw. Each player gets a character. You start the game. First player flips over the first card and does the action done by the card, which is printed on the first page. This particular one is reveal the next card on the top of the draw pile. So that player looks at it, and if they want it, they can play it. If they don't, they put it back. In this case, you do not want it because they are both of the same suit, so you will bust and all of the cards will come here. So no matter how many cards you have, if you have a double, you draw a double, and you have to play it, then you put them all into the discard. And when you're ready to stop or collect, take this, collect it, and put it near you. Now it's the next player's turn. Another oracle. No surprise. Sword. Sword's action, right here, steal the top card from any other player's bank and place the stolen card into the player. So these are the banks, and so I could steal it and put it here, but it's a you may, because that would cause me to bust. So you continue playing until you get a bust, or you get a combination, and you always do the actions. If there's a key and a chest in the play area, when you collect, draw bonus cards equal to the number of cards collected. So keep going. Map. I may draw 3 of these and choose 1. I have to choose at least 1. Well, I use this one. The rest go in the ocean. The cannon is place the top card of the suit stack from any other player's bank into the discard pile. And then this would be a smart idea to collect. And then, since there's a key chest, you draw 6 extra cards from the draw. Which they put into their bank. Now it's the next player's turn. Oh, they don't have anything to draw on from. But now would be a good time to play draw on a key or a chest. So, say they have a chest. Coin. Steal. Take that. Anchor. This means that if you bust, you get to keep these 4 cards, or the 4. All of them. Kraken. Kraken means that 2 cards must be played immediately. Oh, I don't have anything. And map. Immediately, they have a bust. So they bust, they get to keep these 4, but since they collected, since because of the number of the collected, they get 4. These go on these. These are put into the discard. The next player's turn. Chest, mermaid. Mermaids have no abilities, but they are worth a lot of points. Kraken, you draw 2, safe. Kraken, they bust. At the end of game scoring, you only get the higher number of, like here, I have a 5 and a 7, and an 8, a 9, and a 4, and a 2, and only score the higher. Play continues until all of the cards from the draw pile are gone. And then you count up the points of the highest number card. So it'd be 9 points, 7, 4, until you have counted up all the points. The player with the highest amount of points wins. In case of tie, the player with more cards wins. These are character cards. They have gems at the bottom that the player aids explain what they all mean. And they have special actions that only the player with the card can use. These are trait cards. Deal out 2, and the player picks one that they want. Some of these traits are powerful, some of them are not as powerful, and this can lead to a lopsided game. Also, to add variety to the game, there are goal cards. They change the scoring or the game. Some of these are, like this one says loot. The loot cards must bust on numbers, not suits. All cards in all players' banks count for the score, not just the top, not just the most powerful. When you get a bust, instead of putting the cards from the play area into the discard pile, you give it to the player on. And a few more. Got my dad here for a parent's opinion. The components are really well done. The cards, like a linen finish.
Yeah, so this is just a card game, so they're the only thing in the box are cards, but they're really well done. They're nice, durable cards, and they do have that linen finish on them that kind of gives it a nice polished feel.
Yeah. And the artwork's really good. I like how the artist, like, that pirate feel into it.
Yeah, it definitely has a good pirate feel with the pictures and the little icons that they chose for each one of those. It has kind of a a brown, an old, like an old treasure map looking feel to it.
Yeah.
It really kind of gets you into the theme.
Yeah. Gameplay's pretty easy. You flip over a card, you do the action, and then when you're ready, collect.
Yeah, it really does the push your luck element, and that's something that I like to find in games for kids, especially. It teaches them, how much can I try to get on there before I bust, and when do I need to say stop, right? That's something that I like, especially in a kids push your luck kids game. But there is a lot of strategy with a lot of the variants. There's if the base game doesn't have enough for you, they have added in the trait cards.
Oh yeah, the trait cards.
And the goals.
Yeah.
Right? And so those add a little bit of depth to it. Maybe you'll have a different goal rather than trying to get the most points. Maybe there's one where you need to get one of every suit. So that might dictate how you play and which one, when you're willing to collect, and if when you need to keep going for it.
Yeah. The strategy involved is pretty, it's just depending on what cards you flipped over and when you want to collect and what your goal is.
Yeah, and a lot of the sword, right? So the sword, you can take somebody else's, or the cannon, you can blow up somebody else's. And then the hook, you can hook one of your own. So depending on what card comes out, there's different strategies that you can employ there as well. And of course, my favorite is the treasure and the key.
That's a pretty good turn. If you have a hook and a treasure or a hook and a key out there, you can just hook it on and get treasure. But the bad thing is if you do that and then you bust.
Yep.
It's pretty easy for kids. Like I said, flip it over, do the action, which the older people can tell, or if they can read it off the card.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of text on the card
Correct.
itself, right? So there's no reading involved on the cards themselves. As soon as you learn what an icon means and what it
Yeah,
does.
but to learn that icon, they either have to read or have to be told.
Yeah, so I think once they learn that,
Easy.
it's pretty easy. We've played it with a couple of different kids before, and it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's a really good game. Like, the box is good. I like the amount of players, so just me and you can play it, or if I have friends over, we could play it.
Yep, you could expand up to 4. I think if you bought another box, you could bump it up to 6 even.
Why not 8?
It's a super. Maybe, I don't know. It's a super fast game. You can get through a couple of rounds, in 5 minutes if you have everybody knowing how to play, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good filler game. Or if you don't have a lot of time,
Bring this out.
Yep. It's also very portable, so you could take it with you anywhere if you're on a trip, or throw it in your bag.
Because the box is so small, you can just put it in your bag and it'll fit anywhere.
Yep. We're big fans of Dead Man's Draw.
Please like us on Facebook. Please tweet us at Brian's Got Game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.